Alright, so we got the old Glory in, our Ford 8N tractor. I was grading the fence line with my box blade, and it acted like it ran out of fuel and just died, and it wouldn't start ever since. And when I turn it over, it makes some strange clunking noise. So we're gonna pull this hood off, fuel tank, and see if we can do a compression test. I've been meaning to do it for a while, so do a compression test, make sure we didn't lose the cylinder, and then go from there. I think it's time for an oil change and filter change too, so we'll check compression. I can smell fuel, so we got fuel, and then next we'll do the ignition for spark. Good chance it might be the governor. It's been giving me trouble over the last couple years. That's why I don't pressure wash this thing, because any moisture gets on the governor just kills the tractor. So we'll see. Let's get this hood off. Okay, so we got the hood off. What we're gonna do, we check the coolant's good. Oil is dry and it's got fuel in it, so that's concerning. And what we're gonna do first, we're gonna put some oil in it, and then we're gonna pull the spark plugs to do a compression test. Before we pull the spark plugs though, we want to just blow the dust out. Watch your eyes. Okay, so we got all the spark plugs out. We got our compression gauge on the first cylinder. We added some oil. It didn't take maybe half a quart, but I think it's mostly diluted with fuel, so that's kind of worrisome. So we're gonna go ahead and run this compression test. We have our battery charger on it just because it's gonna strain the battery. Make sure she's in neutral. Chokes off. All right, let's see what happens. Watch the gauge. Okay, so we might want to see what that noise is first.
That's a new noise.
You see any holes in the ground? Is it sparking?
Yeah.
I guess I could turn off the ignition. Huh?
Jenna, come here, babe.
Oh, look at this.
It's sparking.
Can I paint, Rob? No.
Determine if it's the engine, use a rod or something like that, or if it's turned off the ignition so we're not sending any spark. Send back, Jenna. Ready? Can you see it? So starter spinning it, but it attaches to your flywheel. This is a clutch, so it's going to have a clutch pressure plate. I haven't done a compression test on this, so it's good to know what it is. First cylinder is pretty low. Alright, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Ready? Okay, ready?
Yep.
That is 100. Yep. That first one could be a problem. But it's building some compression.
Are we doing it
We'll
again?
do it again. Ready?
Yes, sir.
about 66. I'm gonna do it one more time.
Okay, hang on, let me angle. All right, good.
All right. Well, we got one really low cylinder, but I don't think, obviously the rod's not busted, so. Let's think about this one. Okay, so pull the starter off of the Ford tractor and let's see, we're missing half the gear. From the starter shaft. So I think that's what our problem is. Part of the problem, that's not why it just died, but what we're gonna do now is get a wrench on the front crankshaft, turn it around and inspect that ring gear on the flywheel. See if there's any damage. And then go from there. I don't think I can get to that without separating the tranny from the engine, which is splitting the tractor in half. Yikes. All right, let's see what we gotta do. All right, so we pulled the old Ford tractor out because we have to special order a starter for it. Nobody's got it in stock. So I just ordered it this morning, and then I'm gonna go ahead and order new spark plugs. We'll get a tune-up. Hasn't had a tune-up in probably 3 years. Kind of neglected this beast. She just keeps running and running. So get a new oil filter. We'll change the oil filter, clean the fuel filter. It's like a oil bath fuel filter, so we'll figure that out. I'm gonna get a new distributor cap. I already converted this to electronic ignition instead of, got rid of the points. So we'll get a new rotor, distributor cap, spark plugs, clean that crankcase vent, get the starters on its way. We'll clean up some of the wiring, and I think I have a new belt for it. We'll go ahead and replace the belt because this one's pretty bad shape. And, oh yeah, I think we'll flush the coolant on it too. So, but that's one, we're not gonna start on that until we get the starter and all the other parts. We'll just do it all at once. So we pulled it out of the shop, left the hood off. It's just easier that way. And we got a nice little storm that came in. It's beautiful out here. Had a little drizzle, so hopefully we get a little bit more rain. All right, we got the replacement starter for the Ford tractor. Got it all pressure washed up last night or yesterday evening. So we marked the flywheel there, and then we'll turn the engine over slowly and just inspected the flywheel. There's no broken teeth. Everything looks okay. There's some worn teeth, so probably tips off with some of them, but shouldn't affect it. I'm hoping. We're gonna throw the starter on there and see how that works. Once we get the starter done, then we'll probably drain the coolant, drain the oil, change the filter, add the coolant, and replace the spark plugs, clean up some wiring, see if she'll start. Okay, we got the new starter on. It's just 2 bolts. When you do it, you gotta pull these. It comes shipped with the nut and bolt on it. When you take it apart, just take care to keep these all together. If you slide it out, you're gonna have to fight the magnets and get it all back together. So just take your time, kind of finagle it in there, and it's got to slip over past the end of it. Has to slip over past the flywheel. So, all right, I'm gonna transfer the starter solenoid over to it. Start connecting up the wires. Okay, so we got the starter solenoid on there. Still got to connect the wires. I went ahead and started draining the radiator. Let the coolant drain out while I'm attaching my wires. All right, sorry for the delay. Had to travel out of state for a business meeting for my normal job, but got back and the weeds are getting out of control, so I need to get this Old Glory back in service. We replaced the starter. It had a bad drive gear or busted drive gear. We changed the oil filter, changed the oil, changed the cooling system, and I rewired it so my headlights work now. I took this pipe off here before I put the hood fuel tank assembly back on. I took the air intake hose off, put starter fluid in there, and she ran nice and smooth. So I was thinking maybe it's the carburetor, but I didn't want to take the carburetor off yet because I don't think I have another gasket. I'd have to make one. So put it back together, connected the fuel, opened up the valve and seeing if I could get it to run. Did not have any, couldn't get it running. Disconnected the line with the fuel valve open, no fuel. So I came over here, took the fuel bowl off that fuel valve. Now I'm going to show you what we got in here. Looks like it's probably plugged, but let's see if it turns out in the camera. All kinds of crap in there, huh? Kind of disgusting. So I'm going to clean this out real good. Next, you know what we'll do first. Let's open up the valve and see if we get any fuel coming out. So I don't have any fuel coming out. So this must be plugged or up in there. That's all the way open and we're not getting anything. So, all right, I'm gonna maybe get some small air and a brake cleaner and kind of blow up in there, starter fluid and those. See if we can get something to blow through it and dislodge whatever's in there, and then see if we can get it running. All right, sorry for the wind. So I'm getting ready to start the tractor. I went ahead and got the hood back on, put the new spark plugs, cleaned up the distributor cap and the rotor. Some sandpaper, they weren't too bad. Got the starter in, wires hooked up, replaced the engine oil filter, new O-ring, cleaned out the vent cap for the oil, crankcase vent, changed the engine oil. So I put 1030 since we're going in the winter. Got a good pressure cleaning. We greased everything up. So now let's see if she wants to start. Neutral, a little bit of throttle. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. A little bit of choke. That's it. Sounds pretty good, huh? This thing just keeps on running. Very little maintenance needed. PTO works, 3-point hitch works. So yeah, this one's done. I'll take it for a little test drive. Choke in. Oh, second gear. First gear's just too short. Trying to do this one-handed, it's a little tricky. Yeah, it's no forward driving. Let's get into third gear, huh? Uh-oh. Wants to die when the fuel choke is not, when I put the choke in. Well, it helps to have fuel. Ran her out of fuel, so. All right, circle back around and park the tractor.